Hello, I'm Tan the Tam VOTC channel. I want to quickly say I do want to do more read-alongs recently. I might have to reboot some of the read-alongs I've only started the first video or part of, as well as I want to get into more B-Stars. I think I won't reboot that one because I did do the first book, and then I want to do the Halo books and such, as well as other video game related books. Definitely Lord of the Rings. I want to do that for sure, as well as Elric and The Witcher and all that. Um, I want to also get into some older series stuff. I used to do, as well as some versus videos. I talked about Skyrim versus Starfield versus Fallout 4. I still want to do that, and I have kind of a script set up. I'm also thinking about writing my own books, becoming an author. So that's an interesting thing I've been looking into. But what this video really is that I want to talk about is the FNAF movie, real quick. So I saw this twice on Thursday night, once by myself and once with my friend Josh. I tried to watch it with my other friend Dave, but my other friends honestly don't care for the FNAF series. They see it as a waste of time and something they're just not genuinely into. So, I watched the movie. Um, I'm kind of mixed about it. I want to like it. FNAF is that series that I feel like I want to get into. There's some interesting lore and stuff there, but it always finds a way to kind of push me away. Security Breach, I love the direction they took Security Breach, but my problem was the fact that it was a glitchy mess on release, kind of like a lot of other games we've been getting. So it kind of pushed me away there, as well as like just in the past. I always think that the first FNAF game is great, and I like what one of my favorite YouTubers say about it, which is Jordan Underneath. I do think that the first FNAF game is great, but after that they kind of just recycle the same elements. Maybe the fourth one's decent because I like the vulnerability of the child in his room trying to protect from nightmare versions of the characters, and they're actually, I like their designs there. They look really cool and it's pretty creepy. FNAF World is just kind of a goofy RPG-ish game, but I have fun watching the gameplay of that. It's colorful and bright, and I like RPGs in general, so it's kind of fun. But it's still, I wouldn't call it the best. It's just kind of a goofy thing that Scott did. And then, yeah, like when it came to the movie, I didn't find the human characters all that bad, uh, but I do love the beginning where the people are breaking in, and of course, I love the cameos in the movie. Uh, those made me laugh, and I love the credit song. It's a YouTube song, or at least a song that was made by a YouTuber. Um, but yeah, I thought the part where the people broke in and the animatronics killed them off was the best part of the movie, and I wish the whole movie was like that. And spoiler, there's some weird corny scene where they kind of have a get together. I felt it was completely unnecessary. Also, they make a certain character kind of talk through uh like it's, and I understand why they did it, but it just felt off to me. Seeing this character talk the way they did, but yeah, like the goofy part in the middle of the movie where they kind of were bonding and did a montage building of a fort made out of tables and chairs, and it's like, what the frick is this movie's direction right now? What is going on here? And also, there's a thing they try to pull with a plot twist that I feel like first off, I don't think the movies are connected to the lore of the games. It's kind of like other video game movies are not meant to be connected absolutely to the games, like Assassin's Creed and all that. But it's still weird the choices they made. I actually came up with a better plot twist when I was talking to my friends the other night. That could have worked because of a certain character, but I'd have to talk about that in spoilers. Um, but yeah, it's a predictable movie. I wouldn't say that there's anything plot twisty, especially if you're a fan of the FNAF series or you know the FNAF games well. It's probably very predictable. Um, but yeah, I wish the whole film was that beginning sequence. Even their ending, where they were trying to, their whole ending sequence battle was just very short lived and just not very good. um, I like the costume designs in the set. The costume designs in the set are excellent. I don't mind the human characters. You know, even though I don't mind the human characters, I do realize that this has the same problem as the American Godzilla movie and the Sonic movies, where it's like, please give us more of the animatronics, or in that case, Godzilla and Sonic and his friends, and stop giving us human characters. It's kind of freaking annoying. So, yeah, like if they're able to do a sequel, focus on that horror aspect at the beginning you did to the people uh breaking in. Uh do If you're going to do storytelling or lore, do it more kind of like Dark Souls maybe, where it's more in the background and stuff. And there's stuff hinted to. Like that's one of the reasons people got so much into the FNAF series. But of course, it's Hollywoodified in parts, and it's obvious, and it's just not as good as it could have been. If I was gonna rank this amongst the other FNAF like movies, you know, like the Banana Splits and stuff, and that one with what was that, something Wonderland, Wonderworld, Willy's Wonderworld? I can't remember what it was called. But had Nicolas Cage in it, and he didn't talk throughout the whole thing. Those are goofy. I do think the characters are more memorable in this movie. You'll at least remember their names and stuff, and what their motivations and such were, and background. Um, and you also, like, I think the costume design's way better, clearly, as well as the set. Where those costumes, you could tell, were just looked like they looked like just people in animal costumes. They didn't really feel like animatronics so much. Where the FNAF ones definitely did. You even saw a lot of their insides as they were moving around and stuff. Um, I do think both genuinely laughed too at this movie, as well as I just laughed. It's kind of the same thing. I do think people can be creeped out or scared by this, but for me, it's kind of the same equivalent of Nostalgia Critic, with Pennywise, where he's a freaking clown. How are you scared of this guy? You're meant to make people laugh. You're goofy and dumb looking. And it's kind of the same thing as like these big stuffed animals are walking around and they're doing goofy things. Like the freaking cupcake. Every time the cupcake attacked somebody, I laughed out loud. And then when I saw this one scene, or any of the scenes where the robots turn and look at somebody, and they give like the Clint Eastwood squint at them. It's like if one of them says, "Go ahead, make my day," then I was gonna laugh out loud even further. But it still made me laugh just seeing that. Balloon Boy made me laugh. Whatever, you freaking jump scared the screen. it kind of felt like the movie was self-aware and not self-aware at the same time. Like when you felt like Hollywood was invading the movie with its kind of shenanigans and bull crap, then you felt like it wasn't self-aware. But when you felt like stuff like that, it felt self-aware, as well as the YouTubers that had cameos and stuff. Like that stuff felt self-aware. And overall, I thought it was good. I thought the kid actors were okay too. They were actually pretty good. Uh, I don't I don't know about his little sister. There were sometimes I questioned like that was a good line delivery, line read, but I don't think she got on my nerves or anything overall. But yeah, um, and I made a bite of 87 joke with my friends. Just randomly during a scare scene. If you see the scene from the the movie where the hand reaches out of the mouth of Freddy and like grabs a girl or something, I made a joke. I kind of paused it, waited while my friend watched, and he was like, "Whoa, what the hell happened there?" And then I just suddenly go, "Was that the bite of 87?" You know, uh, and I kind of like if I was in the theater or if somebody else was, it would be funny if somebody or myself would yell out, "Was that the bite of 87?" at that point, and hope that people would get that joke. But I don't know. I will be seeing this in theaters because I had to watch it on Peacock just because I wasn't sure if I'd be able to get to theaters this time. But I think I'll see it in theaters. I enjoyed this enough to say that I like it fine. It's not my favorite video game movie. I think the Mario movie. I even love the Prince of Persia movie and the Timothy Olyphant, or however you pronounce his last name, Hitman movie. I love the Silent Hill movie, the first one, not the second. The second was garbage. And I love the Sonic movies. Those are some of my favorites. I actually watched some other video game movies, like the Street Fighter movie and the what was what is the name of the frick, I forgot the name of the other movie. It's another cheesy 80s or 90s movie. Um, Double Dragon. I saw that. It's based on a video game too, and even I think the original Mario movie, like I think the same way, where those movies are actually genuinely fun, ridiculously dumb movies, but they're fun. They're cheesy, they're campy, and they're just really over the top and fun. They actually more fun to watch now than they were back in the day. Like I can understand why people were pissed at them back then, but nowadays I actually think they're really enjoyable and goofy, but for good reasons. And there's just something about the '80s and maybe even the '90s that has just such a cheese and fun to it that like movies can't capture nowadays. So it's just like, yeah, that's a really bubbly, fun time you're gonna have, and it's hard to hate most like '80s movies and stuff. Um, 90s movies, I guess, can be a mixed bag from time to time, but still, there's some good 90s movies. Um, yeah, I love those era of film in general, mostly 80s. Like, I love dark 80s fantasy movies like Labyrinth, Dark Crystal. Uh, I love, Neverending Story, all that stuff. Love that stuff. And yeah, but with this movie, I thought it was okay. I think it's closer to a 6 out of 10 maybe. Um but I enjoyed it on a 7 out of 10 level. I usually do points in between, but I can't really decide with this movie. I'm like very on solid ground with this movie, and I think I'm just going to do a solid 7 out of 10 for my personal rating. For a realistic rating, I think it's a 6 though. Um Because you think as a movie too, does it accomplish what it sets out to be? If this movie is more self-aware and meant to be as goofy as I think it is, which in parts you can tell it is, uh, then I think it deserves that 7, maybe even higher, just because it's more self-aware. I just think they could have done better with being self-aware to an extent. But yeah, I was looking for, I think 8-Bit Ryan's one of the employee pictures. By the way, my hands just typically shake. That has nothing to do with being nervous or anything. I just have a condition that my hands shake in general. So if the phone starts shaking, that's why. I don't remember the name of what I have, but that is a problem for me nonetheless, and I've had it forever. But yeah, like I don't know. This movie, it was a fun time, definitely. I had laughs, both genuine and not as genuine, just because the movie was kind of goofy to me. Um, I will say the Golden Freddy thing was interesting as well. You see him in the trailer, as well as Balloon Boy, because you get a sense that by the end that Balloon Boy is sentient. There is an in between credits scene, but I wouldn't say there's an after credits scene at all. I've watched till the end, but I do like the song that plays in the credits. I think the song is worth sitting there and listening and such. Um, yeah, I thought this was a fun time. No alcohol required. I haven't watched Jeremy John's review yet. I need to watch Jeremy John's if he has reviewed it. That is. I've watched Doug talk about it, and yeah, I agree with Doug on some of the points that he made. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. I think it's a fun movie with great costumes. The acting isn't bad. Even the kid actors, I'm surprised by. Mostly the ghost children. Um, the self awareness of it, the cameos. Yeah, it was pretty good, and I like the setting of it. It wasn't like an in your face. Oh, this takes place in the 90s or 80s or whatever. I think it's the 90s this takes place in. But it wasn't like obvious in your face about it, kind of like the It movies were, once again, to bring back around Nostalgia Critic and his complaints on that. We take place in the 80s. But yeah, it wasn't in your face about that. And yeah, it's a fun time. I just wish it would have focused more on the killer aspect, that it wouldn't have done that one goofy bonding sequence in the middle. That was kind of weird. They do get back to being psychopathic robots though by the end, but still, I just think it did not, that was completely unnecessary. I understand that it served a plot point, but they could have wrote something differently still. Like they did not need that. That was just really stupid and unnecessary. Anyways, and even I would like to talk. Maybe I should do a freaking spoiler video, but there is another kind of dumb thing that I would like to talk about too. That I don't know how to feel about the way it ended too. So yeah, but I still think it's a fun time. I still stick to what I said. I just yeah, it's got problems and it's understandable. This is a first movie. I hope uh they can improve on it. Jeez, what's going on? And make a great sequel out of it. I have a feeling they would jump to Security Breach instantly from FNAF 1 straight to Security Breach, just because that kind of feels like the direction they want to take the story, but it's so weird that is. But I guess being a movie, um, it's not meant to be connected to the game, so they're probably not going to do certain other things. But anyways, and I'll talk about too the idea I had for the movie that I thought was a better way, because I think there's a certain character from the games they could have certainly fit in there perfectly, and they probably didn't know how to write that. Yeah, I came up with something in just a couple of seconds of watching the movie that they could have done. And it's like, yeah, that's kind of dumb of them. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. This went longer than I thought it was going to be. I was going to do initially just a short video. But yeah, and I still have videos that I want to do for the channel. I'm playing Dead Space Remake. Look forward to hopefully a review of that. And I want to compare it to Resident Evil 4 because I think there's an interesting comparison video to be made there. And I hope you enjoyed. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Leave your comments below. And I will see you next time if you did enjoy, of course. And goodbye.